Welcome to your channel, NightVeil Stories. I moved into the apartment 3 days ago, still surrounded by half-opened boxes and the faint smell of fresh paint. Tonight, something felt different. The living room was colder than usual, as if the air itself was holding its breath. I sat down to check the footage from the small indoor camera I had installed near the front door, just a precaution, or at least that's what I told myself. At first, everything looked normal. The timestamp showed me arriving home from work, dropping my keys, and walking toward the kitchen. But as I kept scrubbing forward, a strange shadow flickered briefly behind me, so quick I wasn't sure if it was just compression noise. I rewound the clip. There it was again, a darker outline, like someone standing just behind my shoulder. I leaned closer. My heart started to pound. I lived alone. No one had visited me today. I slowed the clip to half speed, then frame by frame. And that's when I saw it, something tall, motionless, standing only a meter behind me. Its body had no clear form, just a human-shaped blur that absorbed the light around it. But the worst part was the head. It wasn't shaped right, as if the skull was stretched backward unnaturally. The footage made my skin crawl. I didn't feel anything when I walked inside, no footsteps, no breath on my neck. That thing had been right behind me, and I never knew. That was the moment I realized something was terribly wrong with this apartment. Something had followed me home, or was already here before I arrived. I replayed the footage over and over, hoping I was imagining it, but the shadow didn't disappear. Every time I saw it, the shape seemed to grow clearer, as though the camera captured more detail with each playback. I finally paused the video and stepped back, rubbing my cold hands together. The apartment felt even colder now. I checked behind the couch, in the hallway, even the bedroom. Nothing. But the feeling of being watched clung to the air like humidity before a storm. I grabbed my phone and texted the landlord. Did someone have a spare key to this place? Anyone else enter before I moved in? No reply. The silence of the apartment weighed on me. The hum of the fridge suddenly sounded too loud. I walked to the front door, half expecting to hear footsteps outside. Instead, I found something else, a faint, dark smear on the wall near the doorframe. Like soot. I touched it with my fingertip. It was cold. Too cold. My phone buzzed. Finally. A reply from the landlord. No one should have access. Why do you ask? I sent him a picture of the smear and a screenshot of the shadow. He didn't reply again. I started to feel dizzy. The lights flickered once, just once, but long enough to make every hair on my arms rise. Something told me the shadow wasn't just in the footage. Whatever it was, it hadn't left. Night came faster than usual, or maybe I was just too distracted by the footage to notice the time passing. I kept all the lights on, even the small lamp on the kitchen counter stayed glowing. Something about the darkness felt unsafe now. I found myself glancing over my shoulder every few seconds, convinced I'd see that figure standing there. At around 2 a.m., the camera notified me of motion. My heart nearly stopped. I tapped the notification instantly. The screen opened to a live view of my living room. Nothing moved at first. Then the temperature on the camera display dropped 18 degrees C, 16 degrees C, 14 degrees Celsius. My breath grew shallow. And slowly, from the left corner of the room, the shadow drifted into view. Not walked. Drifted. The figure was taller now, its body stretching slightly like smoke collecting into a human form. My hand shook as I watched it move toward the camera. Instead of passing in front of it, the shadow leaned closer to the lens, as if staring directly at me through the feed. The screen glitched. Static flooded the image, but through the grain, I could see its elongated head tilting unnaturally. I slammed the phone face down on the table. The apartment suddenly felt smaller, like the walls were inching closer. I didn't sleep at all. Every sound, the creak of the floor, the faint ticking of the clock, made me jump. And worst of all, I could still feel something standing behind me, even when I didn't look. By morning, I was exhausted. My eyes burned, and every muscle ached from tension. but I needed answers. I searched online for past tenants, building history, anything. One comment thread mentioned strange activity on the third floor years ago, my floor. A tenant complained about seeing someone standing behind them in mirrors, only to turn around and find no one there. A chill spread through my chest. This wasn't new. I opened the camera app again. Nothing unusual appeared on the feed. But when I checked last night's saved clips, a new file I hadn't seen before was sitting there. It was timestamped at 4:12 a.m. I never received a notification. I pressed play. This time, the camera wasn't filming the living room. It was filming my bedroom, from inside the room. But I never put the camera there. I watched myself sleeping, tossing and turning, unaware of the tall figure standing at the foot of my bed. Its arms hung unnaturally long, reaching almost to its knees. It didn't move. Not even an inch. Just stared at me the entire time. The clip ended abruptly. I froze, unable to breathe. Someone or something had moved the camera inside while I slept. I ran to my bedroom. The camera wasn't there. It was back in its original spot by the door, exactly where I left it. I couldn't stay another night. My heart raced as I packed my bags, stuffing clothes, documents, anything I could grab quickly. I kept checking the hallway, terrified that at any moment the shadow would appear again. I unplugged the camera completely and threw it into a box. I didn't want to see any more footage. But as I reached for the door handle, my phone vibrated. A new video file was being uploaded to the camera app. This made no sense, the camera wasn't even connected. My hands shook as I opened the notification. The video showed the apartment's hallway, filmed from a low angle, as if the camera were placed on the floor. I watched myself approach the door, bag in hand, exactly as I was doing right now. Then, slowly, the shadow emerged behind me in the video, taller, sharper, clearer than ever. It lifted one long, dark arm and placed it gently on my shoulder. I froze. I felt cold fingers touch my real shoulder at that exact moment. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. The screen showed the figure leaning closer to the back of my head. The video glitched and ended. I don't remember what happened after that. I only remember waking up on the floor, the apartment silent, the door still closed. I wasn't sure if I had fainted or if something else happened. But I knew one thing, the shadow didn't want me to leave. And I wasn't sure I ever could.